Hello and welcome to another update video about VeChain. I mean, wow, VeChain doesn't want to stop really. Yesterday in the video we were around, I think 6.3 cent, exactly where that small retracement started, I think. And then we saw here, no, actually before that, so after my video before the correction started, we saw another pump. I think that was all the way up to 6.9 cents. That was exactly to that next resistance level that I gave you. So obviously after VeChain broke out of my target area down here, which is again located between that 3.3 cent level and that previous low in July. Yeah, so it moved out of that between 3.3 and 5.6 cents. It started to move above that previous high as well. Retested, very good sign that this was retested. I think Cardano, when it moved out of its out of there, it didn't really retest. VeChain is doing that, and it moved also above that next fib level here that you can see here at 6.1 cent, and then even moved above this high here at as well 6.1 cent, and is now struggling a little bit to get through that significant high here at 6.9 cents. So that is the level that I gave you as well as the next target, and we reached it perfectly yesterday once and now again here with 6.8 cents. You can see how the if we can take a look on the 1 hour chart. I mean, it's just fantastic, right? It's just fantastic because the price is finally starting to move up. There have been a lot of doubts by investors because of course, if a price doesn't move for a long time, there people get doubts, yeah. But I've been telling you throughout here that this is only a very, very normal correction, in my opinion, because that's what I read in the comments a lot. VeChain is going to die and everything. But I told you throughout all these partnerships with a lot of very, very big world players in terms of companies, with a lot of partners. PricewaterhouseCoopers, I think. We've got BMW, we've got Louis Vuitton as a brand. There is so much that they cooperate with VeChain, and they make really a difference to the supply chain industry, in my opinion. And not only that, but yeah, it's good to see that first move, and I think we can be much more confident that the low maybe was already in as soon as we see a breakout above that 6.9 cent level. But I think really confident I'm only going to become above 10.2 cents. But not only that, I would want to see a 5-wave structure. I mean, what we can probably see here is a first wave 1, 2. That might be the wave 3 in which we currently are. And then we probably see a retracement in the wave 4 and the wave 5 up. And then we see an ABC. And then we should come down quite significantly once more. And that might then be another entry point for some people, right? And that will then allow us to understand much more clearly and with much more confidence if the low was already in. If you see that first 5-wave structure up and then that 3-wave structure down. But it's really impressive what VeChain is doing. It's extremely important for VeChain as well to get back onto the radar, because it was really, throughout this whole correction, it didn't really move a lot to the upside. It didn't really move a lot. And I showed you yesterday in the videos that this this pump actually is quite significant. I think something like 50-60% here since the low, that VeChain has made more upside than in any of these previous moves up here throughout the correction. So something is clearly getting a little bit more bullish than it was back then. I mean, even before that breakout, we talked about the breakout, right? Because we had the descending wedge on the chart here, and I don't really know if I can make it even clearer. I think it was all going really well. We have made that correction as planned. We've come into that target area here that we indicated already back in November, and this is now the turnaround. And again, we can see this turnaround for various cryptos exactly in my target areas. And I have to add that Bitcoin has not reached its target area yet. It has not reached it yet. So I'm still of the opinion that Bitcoin is going to come down once more into this target area, and I think only then all of these scenarios will be fulfilled. So yeah, looking really interesting. I mean, VeChain so far perfectly fulfilled that scenario. And what are we doing in the short term? So let's zoom in. On the daily. We are now overbought. We are now above 70. So it's time to become a little bit careful. Yeah, we also saw increasing volume. You can see that exactly here on the 4-hour chart. I think you see that increasing volume here in the last couple of days. So that is really, really good. On the 8-hour chart, you can see we are overbought as well, above 70 on the RSI, but the momentum on the MACD is still pushing higher. So there is more, certainly at the moment at least, more upside potential. It's not yet exhausted. On the daily as well, more upside potential. Even on the 1 hour here, you are already seeing another potential bullish crossover coming. So that could then also translate over onto the 4-hour chart. And yeah, generally looking good. I mean, the weekly as well, similar to Bitcoin, we are probably going to get here bullish crossover. And if we get that the last time that happened, we saw significant upside. But really here, when it happened, we saw a move to new all-time highs. And we are this time much, much lower. I mean, look at where the MACD line was back then. Look at where the MACD line is now. It is so low that, you know, you can get an understanding of how much upside potential that means. Yeah, if you get back to that previous MACD level, maybe we won't get quite back to that one, but it just gives you an idea of the potential that VeChain has to the upside, right? So I'm really looking forward to that. I really like VeChain. The chart looks phenomenal. Even that correction, textbook-like, perfect. And now we are really ready for new all-time highs. We are. It's still, again, too early for me to say with a lot of confidence that the low was already in. But the higher we go, obviously, the more likely it already gets and the more resistances we are breaking here. And in the short term, we can see that we now got rejected again at that 6.8, 6.9 cent level. So until we break it, we haven't broken it, right? It's as easy as that. But certainly what VeChain did here was probably something like a bull flag. So he came down here and then broke that bull flag to the upside. Struggling obviously to push higher. Normally what you say is the first target of something like this, like a bull flag, the first target is that previous high. And we actually reached it. But now VeChain really needs to push above this level. Well, we haven't seen here a retest yet. Could really very well be that from this bull flag the price is coming down to that former resistance, now support, so could really come back to 6.5 cents. That would be quite a lot of a drop again, however, to retest it and then move up. But typically you don't really want such a strong drop. What is significant is that volume that is coming in. Yeah, so we see more and more volume coming in. And to be honest, we need to wait now if the price is going to break it. Certainly the indicators would support it. Yeah, there is certainly further upside potential. The MACD is not yet slowing down. But yeah, I mean, it's doing what we've been saying, you know, it's finally starting to move up. And overall, in terms of what VeChain could do in the next move up, in that next major wave up, all the way up to maybe 72 cents, we are still looking here potentially at a 10x, but 72 would already be the higher target. The minimum is 45 cents. And I'm talking about the next major wave up, not tomorrow, not next week. It will take a bit of time, but and it won't go in a straight line. But certainly starting to look good. And VeChain, one of my cryptos where I put a lot of hope into, because it has corrected that much. And I showed you just now that MACD line on the weekly. So there is really a lot of upside potential, and it's a good project. I mean, that has to be added to as well, all in my opinion, of course, and no financial advice. So yeah, hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.